Hi, Dawn Stenslamenti, back with you here. You know, I am a true believer in psychic powers, people born with the gift. And one of those people is our own Patty Carlton, our Patty Angel, as she's known to all of her followers in Philadelphia. So what is this gift? How would you describe it?
Well, it was a gift. It's a gift I had from birth. From when I was a little girl, I can imagine. I mean, I can just think of all the things I used to do and things I used to know were going to happen before they did. Yes, when I went to grade school, I remember the children following me home from school, 6 and 7 kids at a time, holding my books. My mom always questioned that. Why are they following you? And I just never knew, you know.
But at what point did you realize, in other words, that the other kids did not have the same gift that you had? The other kids clearly recognized.
Right.
Patty has something, and they were fascinated.
Well, I started knowing things were going to happen before they did, and I would hear things I knew other people didn't hear, you know, so I just kind of knew I was special, but I didn't want to say anything to anybody. I just kind of kept it to myself.
Now, when I was a kid, I would have dreams, and some of them came true. And my mom said, this is not from God. We're going to pray that you never have this, that you block this out. And we did. And she said, this is bad. Did you ever have a feeling like this is from God and this is my gift? Or did anybody ever try to block that out?
Oh, no. I always knew it came from God because I was always spiritual. I always prayed. And they picked me to be the Blessed Mother in the school play. Anything that came up, they would automatically pick Patricia. You know, I didn't even have to vote. So I was always Mary and all the different things in school, and I just knew that I had this special gift, and I knew they all appreciated it in their own little way.
And so they celebrated that.
Yes,
they
did.
recognized
Yes.
this is your gift,
Yes.
which is so beautiful to me that it was recognized as something good. You know, the first thing I said to you is, do you know about Kim Kardashian and what's going to happen, or this celebrity? You're really not into celebrity stuff or predicting tragedies or making a ton of money, because you could, right, if you had a show and people, you don't seem interested in that.
No, it's matters of the heart. What's important to people, if they come to a crossroads in life, or if there's sickness, even with animals, if their animals are sick, or someone on drugs, or, you know, like that, and they come to me, and it's a gift from God, and I give them hope, is what I give them, because we all have free will. And we all can go whatever which way we want to go. But God gives me their highest good, and I try to steer them in the right direction. Whether they go or not is up to them. But when they do, it all works out. It's wonderful.
And there are a lot of stories, but tell me in particular about the woman in the coma who you helped.
Yes, I heard a voice. I was getting ready for work, and I heard a voice, and the voice gave me a number, 741, and I didn't know what that meant. And on the way to work, I stopped at a florist shop my friend owned. And he said, oh, I can't believe it's you. He said, there's a woman in the hospital. I just found out, a dear friend. And I want you to go visit her if you would, because you have that special gift. She's in 741. And he told me what hospital. And when I went in, the woman was in a coma. So her family members were there, and I told her how I got to come there that day. And I suggested to them that they would just say a prayer, gather around and say a prayer, and that she would get up within a day. So they said they would. So a week later I went, and she was still in the hospital, but she was sitting up. She had been in the coma a few months, and she was sitting up watching TV. And I said, do you know who I am? And she said, yes, I do. You're the angel.
Oh my goodness. And that must have been such a great feeling for you.
I was happy for her. I was thankful to God it worked out for her.
And we both share a friend, we won't name her, but she's a famous Philadelphia TV personality. And you actually helped her. She was someone who was a professional all of her life and put everything into her work. And you predicted she would find love and even her now husband's name.
Yes. What he did for a living, and the fact that he was a Jewish man, and how he lived and where he lived, and how he lined his suits up in the closet with his shoes underneath each suit, and what his name was. And when they had their first date, he was going to show up with something silly, a gift, but not silly, something she wouldn't expect. And on their first date, he came with a loaf of French bread. He said he didn't know why he showed up with that, but
Manna from
No,
heaven.
that's it. So she knew right then and there.
Patty's right. This is the one. This is the one.
And it was. They've been married 17 years.
Isn't that beautiful? Was there ever a point in your life since you were a child where you knew something would happen or you felt something and you thought this is too much, or that you wished you would not have this gift?
No, I never had that feeling that I wished that I didn't have the gift. No. I always used it in a positive way, no matter what came in front of me. You know, what I thought or what I knew. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I
I just turned it around and made it something positive.
But Patty, you had one situation where you were literally in a restaurant, right? You were telling me, and there were some people at a table, and you had to move.
Well, that's one thing. You're right. I sense that people are when they're going to die. I could see it. I call it the look of death. And my daughter always says, "Mom, stop saying that. You know, how do you know?" But when I used to waitress, I saw a man come in with the look of death, and they said, "Oh, Patty Angel, you always say goofy things, you know. Why do you say that about Mr. So-and-so?" I said, "No, he has it. He really is." And like 2 days later, he did die. So there was proof right there at that restaurant, you know. I do have that gift that I can see a person and I know they're going to die. Sometimes it's a whole family. Car accident. I have to move when I'm in a restaurant. I have to move away.
Because you don't want to say anything, because in essence you're feeling like there's nothing you can do.
But there's nothing I can do, just pray for them. And I certainly can't sit near them. It gets me upset. It upsets me.
Oh my God, you are fascinating. Okay, stay right here, because when we come back, we're going to talk more with Patty Angel, and I'm going to ask her about my mom, who is in a wheelchair. Will she ever walk again? We're going to get verklempt. All right, we'll be right back.